Welcome to the Health and Happiness Show. I hope this finds all of you being well, enjoying the warmer days here in January, and can't believe it's going into February. Here we are, and I hope everyone is keeping back on track on starting out a new you for the new year. So before we go into that, I wanted to just remind you that I am now the Doctor of Naturopath, and I'm a graduate from Kent State, and I do consultations for clients. And I'm getting quite busy, so I'm already booked into the middle of February. So, it usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get in for an appointment as well. So, anyway, I hope we're all enjoying the warmer weather and getting out there. I know we've had rain today, but I know yesterday it was like 50, so I hope everyone is enjoying that and keeping the immune system strong. So I would like to share with you also, I do a newsletter every month, and this is written by Stephen Horn out of Utah, a master herbalist, and I've studied with him for quite some time. But one thing I wanted to share with you in the newsletter, remember I've talked about the Dirty Dozen list? Well, there's been an update on the Dirty Dozen list. So I'm going to share that with you. So hopefully you have paper and pencil, or maybe you have a little tablet that you keep a lot of the notes in that I'm sharing with you with every session that we do, because I do a recording once a month. Now next month we will be concentrating on detoxing. And if you even have started detoxing now, that's fine, because it's wintertime and we need to do that as well. But so let's go on and update on the Dirty Dozen list. So anyway, so on the Dirty Dozen list, strawberries is always on the top of the list. And the reason it's on the top of the list is because they use so many chemicals and pesticides to spray on the plants as well. And then it's followed by spinach and kale. And these are major ingredients in popular smoothies as well. And then we have nectarines, we have apples, we have grapes, we have peppers, we have cherries, peaches, pears, and celery. Now what I have noticed, because I do juice organic celery, all of these are organic, have to be organic because they use a lot of chemicals and pesticides. So what I am finding with the organic celery, I mean, a lot of places don't have it. Mark's does not have it. Aldi's does not have it. The only place I have found it is Raisin Rack at this time. And they said it's because of the delivery. I don't know, the cost is going up on deliveries, things of that sort. So if you do find it, I would buy at least 4, 5, or 6 to keep it on hand until you find the next round. And the nice thing too is, last week at Raisin Rack it was $3.39. This week it was $2.39, I believe, and I can deal with that, but $3.39, I said no way. So I had went to Mark's and purchased some, and it was fine. But now this week there isn't any organic celery that I could find, but I like I said, at Raisin Rack in Canton as well, and the price was right. So anyway, and then tomatoes is also on there. So what we have found, so that is our Dirty Dozen list, our 12, but now we have a number 13. And it's potatoes, okay? So according to the USDA, 35 different pesticides and herbicides have been found on conventional potatoes, okay? So they 6 of those are known or probable carcinogenic, and then 12 are suspected for hormone disruptors, and 7 are neurotoxins, and 6 are developmental or reproductive toxins. So what we have to do is get organic potatoes, which we grow our own from seed, but we didn't have many this year, and because it was a difficult year for growing. And I've been using the organic red tomatoes, and the best place I have found them for the price and the quality is at Fresh Thyme. And I'm just telling you, I think it's like $3.99, which isn't a bad price for the organic red potatoes. So just make sure if you're having potatoes that that's what you purchase are the organic. So we have a number 13 on the Dirty Dozen list now. So now here we are going into February, and so I'm going to ask you, are we all keeping on track? So let's just do a little short summary of what we talked about last month on getting our body back into balance, and I'm going to summarize it on the 5 points, okay? So what we have to do, we have to make sure we're caring for our health. That's got to be your first priority. So we've got to keep track of that and take care of our body, okay? And then nutrition is number 1. So we have to eat a balanced meal, wholesome food, and try to eat the greens as much as you can. And I know it's very difficult, especially at this time of year. Now, what we do too is, this is one of my actually best sellers, and I have to remind you too, I am doing some events for the month of February. On February 4th, I will be at the marketplace at the Hartville Kitchen. Not at the kitchen, at the Hartville marketplace. It's back in the back where they have consignment shops, and they allow vendors to come in. So I will be there on February 4th, and then on February 5th, I will be in Warren, Ohio, doing a holistic psychic show. And the address for the one in Warren is maybe we have to put our glasses back on. It is 375 North Park Street, and that's in Warren. And then on February 25th, I will be back at the Hartville Marketplace, and that's behind the hardware, just to give you, if you have not been there before. And I will be providing free iridology as well, and then muscle testing also. So I just thought I would share that with you. So a lot of people, they purchase from me, and then, they'll give me a call and pick up things later. Like a lady picked up some chlorophyll yesterday because that's one of our best sellers, and I was going to tell you about the liquid chlorophyll. This is the best supplement that you can use to just add to your water, because a lot of people don't like to take a capsule or take an herb. They don't like it. So an easy way is to take this and add it to your water. And so we're going to add some to our water right now while we're doing the show. So there, we just added a little bit. And usually what you do, it's recommended that you do like a teaspoon in a big container of water. And what is the benefit of the chlorophyll? The chlorophyll is going to go in and help detox you. Remember, our disease today is coming from standard American diet and toxins. We are exposed to toxins, unbelievable, and we're going to go into depth on that next month. So, standard American diet is creating a lot of our toxins, and then we have the air as well, and we're just exposed to toxins 24/7. So this will go in and help clean you up and detox you. And then also it's going to balance your pH, because when we're too acidic, that is when disease begins. So what we have to do is try to balance everything out, and this is going to help as well. And then also it is going to help your hemoglobin, which is your red blood count. So I know I had one nurse that worked at a nursing home, and she tended to be anemic. And we started on the chlorophyll, and she said I could feel a difference within 2 days. So everybody is different. I'm pretty much in tune. A lot of times we'll try something out first before I endorse it for my clients. Like, for example, the hyper greens. I'm really having a difficult time keeping this on the shelf. I can tell you a personal story. My husband works part-time, and his boss is always tired. And I said, let's send a little teaspoon of this in and have her add it to her water. And he took it in. She was very gracious, said, yes, I'll try it. She called me within 2 hours and said, Janet, could you please send a packet of this in with your husband tomorrow when he comes into work? I said, absolutely. She said, I can't believe how much better I feel. So, and then I had another lady from the gym that I talked to, and I gave her a sample as well, because she was kind of struggling with her energy as well. She made a lot of progress. She's lost like 20 pounds. She's more flexible. So that's been really great. And I thought, well, I'll give you a teaspoon of this. She'd like to try it. I like to give samples because I feel as though, that helps you if you're kind of like on the fence and you're totally medical. It kind of opens up the door to say there are alternatives other than doing the standard medical procedure in the standard ways. So I checked in with her, or she checked in with me actually, because I wasn't there Monday, and she came and talked to me on Wednesday and said, Janet, I felt better. I said, well, I'm glad to hear that. She said, I've been drinking energy drinks like Red Bull, and I just, oh my. So hopefully she's going to purchase this. I have to take it into the gym for her. And what I'm saying is, I like the Hyper Greens. What it has in it is wheatgrass. And I used to juice my wheatgrass, but with Time Element, I just don't have time to do all that anymore. So I do the wheatgrass in this, and it has barley, it has red beet powder, it has the coconut powder in the milk form, and it has many, many other things. So what is this going to do? What it's going to do is going to go in and help you so you are more alkaline rather than too acidic, because when we're too acidic, that's when disease begins. And it's high in vitamins and minerals as well, and it increases your energy and keeps it even flowing, okay? And then it's going to go in and clean and detox the body, which if you drink the chlorophyll and you drink this is really a good way to go to bring your energy up through these dark, long winter months. And it strengthens your immune system, and it helps you focus. These are the things that I have found that work very well. So, and this is called Hyper Greens, and I get it from Shan Stratton out of Arizona, and I only carry his enzymes as well, Gut Restore, because I've tried many greens, and this is the only one that I really like. Actually, I don't have to add anything to it. I've acquired the taste for it. It isn't bitter. There's a little bit of stevia in it, I believe, as well for sweeteners. So I'm just saying there are options, especially during the winter months. It's hard to do the greens. I can't hardly wait till March comes so I can plant my lettuce seed and have it outside on my deck. And then in April, I'll have my own greens as well. And I'm thinking also, I know Cindy Petiti is going to be on for the April show. And I know she grows the microgreens. I have the soil, I have the seeds, but I'm leaving on vacation on another week, and I'll be gone for 10 days. So I would like to attempt to make the microgreens, and I can show you how successful that will be. So that is my goal for next month as well. And that's where we put them in like the soil in a big long container, and then you can harvest those in like 10 days. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you posted on that as well. So that's the little bit of information on the greens today. So hopefully we're keeping on track with our diet, okay, and feeding our body properly and trying to stay away from the dead foods as well. And also, we're trying, number 2 is like exercise. If we don't move, we lose. I know little Minnie and I went for a walk yesterday. It was 50 out. It was beautiful, no wind, but today we have the rain, so we won't walk today. But I usually try to walk at least 5 days and work out at the gym at least 3. So, we have to find what works for you. You have to go by the season as well. It's wintertime. Maybe you don't like to walk in the wintertime. Maybe you'd rather go swimming indoors. Maybe you would rather join a Ladies Super Fitness Center where I go as well. And remember, they have a discount rate for you when you're over the age of 65. So that's a benefit. When I go, there's usually a lot of women there over 65, but there's some of the young girls, they're coming in as well. So we have those choices. And then we come springtime, maybe you'll start walking, or maybe you would like to ride your bike, or maybe you want to go canoeing. You have to find what sport works best for you during the season. And then the summertime, again, there would be your swimming, okay? Maybe you would like to go hiking up in the state park, Quail Hollow, things of that sort. You have to find what works for you to get yourself moving. And as far as exercise, gardening is good, but I feel as though we need to have something like walking to get that lymphatic system moving. Because just remember, the lymph system is your garbage disposal of your body. And we have to move. It doesn't have a pump like your heart does. And then we have to learn to relax and not be anxious and to meditate. And that's why I like to go for a walk, because it's like grounding me. I can clear my mind because I have the phone ringing. I have an order to mail out. You know, it goes on and on and on. So, you know, that helps calm you down for me, but maybe you'd rather sit and meditate. I don't do well with meditation. I do well with walking and clearing my mind and being out in nature. That works for myself. So you have to find what works for you. Everybody is unique and they'll find their own path. And then you need to learn to sleep like a baby. We have to get our rest to recharge. Our body needs the rest, okay? So you've got to make sure that you don't have any electromagnetic EMF stress exposures while you are sleeping. So that means no cell phone by your bed, and that means no TV in the room. So I'm just giving you those. We'll be talking about that more next month as well, because a lot of my clients come in, their cell phones are right by their bed. No, 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 no. We don't want that. Take it out in the kitchen, let it recharge, do what you have to do, okay? And then maintain an attitude of gratitude. So we have to be thankful for our many, many, many things. So we have to keep our immune system strong, 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 strong. So that's a little review of what we went through last month. And so everybody's keeping on track. Just remember, hey, if you had a birthday party and you had a cake and you had some sweets, that's okay. Turn the page. Go on to the next page. We all have a bad day. Maybe you want to be bad one day out of the week. That's fine. You work what's best for you and what is workable. Don't be hard on yourself. Be positive. Believe you can do this. You are the CEO of your body, and what you put in your body is what you choose to do. So we need to nourish it. This is what God has given us, and it's up to us to provide. So I want to do the 1 healthy minute, just summarize it very quickly. So what we're going to talk about, since we are here in still February, we're going to talk about winterizing your body to keep it healthy. A lot of times during the winter months, people will take steps to winterize their home and their vehicles. They shut off the outside water to keep the pipes from freezing, and they may put snow tires on their car as well. So most of us don't think about winterizing our bodies, primarily because indoor heating and cooling tend to reduce the impact of seasonal weather. In different seasons of the year, people are more prone to specific health problems. Say, for example, in the spring, what do? ALJ. And I think I brought some of that along. Yes, I did. The ALJ. I've even had to use this in the wintertime because it's dry in the house, and I really am considering getting a humidifier to put in the house, but I have water on the stove, so we need to not be so dry. And I find that I tend to be dry, and so I take 4 of the ALJ, and this works very well. It has horseradish, it has fennel and mullein in it, and you can take 4 every 2 hours. But what we tend to do, we're an all-electric home, we have a pellet stove. Do I need to say any more? And I have a pot of water, a crock of water on top of it to get the moisture back in the air. But it's very drying. So like it was 50 yesterday, I opened up the door and some windows to get some fresh air in there as well. But what I'm saying is the heat is very drying. So you may want to consider some of the seasonal allergies, which is considered ALJ. So then also, in the spring, we have a lot of allergies. And even whenever it's warmer, I found that my allergies were bothering me as well. So, and in the summer, we tend to have heat strokes. And then in the wintertime, we tend to have colds and flus as well. So most people know that wintertime is the cold and the flu season, a time when we are more susceptible to viral infections. And then we might have some sore throat, we may have some pneumonia, things of that sort. People are also prone to itchy skin and some joint pain and depression during the winter as well. And then what I found very interesting in doing the research is people with asthma are more prone to asthma attacks as well in the wintertime. Even heart attacks, the leading cause of death in Western society, are more likely to happen in the winter months, which we're going to talk about health heart. That's going to be our main subject today as well. So, and what we have to understand during the winter, less fresh food is available. That's why I like to go to the hyper greens. At least we're getting some good greens, okay? And then we have less vitamin C rich food is available, lowering our intake of this nutrient. And as you can see here, I found these at actually Fresh Time. They're organic tangerines. I ordered some from Florida and for the family and for us for Christmas. Supposed to come out in January. They're running late, so we could have them the middle of January till February, and we still don't have them. And so they're the honey bells from Florida, which we always get every year in January. And I had called them this morning, and they said, sorry, your order's still there, but we're waiting because the oranges aren't ready yet. So what we have to do is go to Plan B and try to get, like these are really good. They're very, very sweet, and you'll have to, check them out, because some of them seem kind of dry that I had bought, but these were really, really, really good. So what we have to do too is vitamin D levels are affected by exposure to sunlight, also decline to shorter days, because what's another thing that I am noticing as well, and we have longer nights of winter. But what I have noticed now, it's not getting dark till between 5:30 and 5:45, which is awesome. So that means in another month it won't get dark till 6:30 or 7:15. So the days are getting longer, which is all good for us, okay? So when we are lacking our vitamin D and our vitamin C, these may be a major factor in creating the cold and flu season, because both are critical nutrients for a healthy immune system. And so what I like to do, because I had I deal with a lot of mail orders, and especially a lot of the old order Amish, and I just got a order today, or no, it was I mailed it out yesterday, and she'll have it Friday from Fredericksburg. And so I had 2 bottles left of olive leaf. God is good. She wanted 2 bottles, so out the door it went. I have 4 coming in again tomorrow. But the olive leaf going to work against viral, bacteria, candida, and parasites, all 4 of those. And I personally try to take it once a day just for prevention. Now, what I am doing, I muscle test. I know you've heard me talk about this. Everything has an energy rate. So what we do is we hold it up to our chest and say, if you're a single person or you're alone, you can hold it up to your chest, and if you lean forward, you need it. And if you lean back, you don't. So just remember that. It's a little hard to do. It takes time to get that down to you feel comfortable with it. Or you can have someone, like I prefer my husband to muscle test me, say if I need the IVH or do I need the olive leaf. And it varies. So right now I'm strong for the IVH. So when I'm strong, I mean my arm stays up strong as he's pushing it down. And if it goes down when he pushes on it, it means I do not need it. So a lot of the chiropractors do this as well. So this is one technique that I've been doing for a long time. The IVH has vitamin C, which is yarrow. It has olive leaf in it. It has myrrh, and it also has rosehip, which is another form of vitamin C. So it's a combination that is put together, and I like that one as well. And I take a teaspoon of that at least twice a day, because whenever I do saliva and urine testing, usually I do it once a month on myself, I am still having the lowest grade virus that you can have. And I'm seeing a lot of clients that are having a virus today. Is it from COVID? Is that what's happening? I don't know. But I mean, I've had viruses which are in the orange zone, which are really severe, really bad, but the ones in the light yellow color code is okay. It's very low. But I can still tell that my energy is a lot better by taking this, but before I couldn't figure out what was going on, and by doing the saliva and urine test, it was able to tell me that. So what we have to do is keep the immune system strong is the bottom line. So what we have to do is take our vitamin D, and I personally prefer to take 6,000 units. And the reason being, I am type O blood. Type O blood does not have a strong immune system like type O, who's my husband. He's type O. And, you know, every blood type is different. So I know type A is inclined towards heart disease, cancer, and blood sugar issues. So, you know, we'll be talking about heart disease here in a bit. And I'm going to tell you what I do to support that. So having a history of heart disease in my family, I'm much more aware of the fact as well. So what we have to understand, we need to take our vitamin D, and like I said, I take 6,000 units, and I think definitely you need to really consider taking at least 4. I can't tell you what to do. I know I go to Dr. Sunny, my holistic doc, and like if you're coming down with a flu or cold, you can start out with 5, like in the morning units, and take another 5 in the late afternoon. That is his referral as well, his reference. So, and then as far as your vitamin C, I again would take anywhere 5,000 milligrams probably. Now just remember, the side effect of taking too much vitamin C is you get diarrhea. So we don't want that. So, you know, just so you know, if you take too much, that's what happens. So you need to back off. So you may want to start out slow, 2,000 milligrams, no problem. Then go up to 3 the next day, no problem. Listen to what your body's telling you. It'll tell you. Okay, so here we are in February, and what we're going to do is talk about the 7 keys to heart health. And one thing I would like to share with you, starting out, I'm sure many of you have heard of the documentary Forks Over Knives. And my daughter had given me this book a couple years ago for Christmas. And it's very good. It's on Prevent and Reverse the Heart Disease Cookbook. We have the cookbook here as well. So these are available, and Dr. I believe it's Esselstyn is the author, and he was a doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, and I believe he's retired now. But his philosophy is that your diet can really go in and correct heart disease. So if you're really serious about this, or if you've had any really serious heart problems, you need to consider changing your diet. And this is your go-to. I can't tell you what to do, but we're going to summarize it very quickly on what he has said. And then we're going to talk about his rules on if you're changing your diet. Because fork over knives mean no meat. Nothing with the mouth or face. Okay? So anyway, that's a good referral for you to read as well. So anyway, let's go back to the basics. Coronary artery disease is the leading killer of men and women in the Western civilization. In the United States alone, more than 500,000 people die of it every single year. 3 times that number suffer known heart attacks, and approximately 3 million more have a silent heart attack, experiencing very little symptoms and having no idea until the damage is done that they are in really danger, and then they're like, here I am. In the course of a lifetime, 1 out of 2 American men and 1 out of 3 American women will have some form of the disease. And this, like I said, this is coming from Dr. Estrich's book as well. These were all of the facts in here. So anyway, the cost of this epidemic is enormous, greater by far than any other disease. The United States spends more than $250 billion a year on heart disease. But here's the shocking statistics. Nearly all of that money is devoted to treating the symptom. It pays for cardiac drugs, for blood clotting, dissolving medication, and costly mechanical techniques that bypass clogged arteries or widen them with balloons, and tiny rotating knives, lasers, and stents. All of these approaches carry significant risks of serious complications as well. And even if they are successful, they only provide a temporary relief from the symptoms. They do nothing at all to cure the underlying disease or prevent it from development in other potential victims. So he believes that coronary artery disease is preventable, and that even after it is underway, it can be stopped. So I'm trying to give you the information on what you can do to change your diet. Diet. I know you get so tired of hearing me talk about that, but it is so important on our diet. And then here is a little visual as well, and you can see the death of an artery right here as well. We'll see if she'll bring that up, okay? All right, yes, there we go. You can see right there we have the clear artery right here, and then we have the buildup begins and reduced flow, and then the high risk, and then here's the damage as well. So if once you see this, it's like, I need to start moving, I need to change my diet. This is like a machine that needs corrected. It's like if you're working in a factory, the machine's not working, and it's all clogged up, it's the same way here it goes, okay? So, the key lays in nutrition, which we just talked about that. We've got to get rid of the toxic American diet and maintaining cholesterol levels as well. So, here are the rules of the diet program in the simplest form, okay? The number one, you may not eat anything with the mother of a face. No meat, poultry, or fish. None. I know, you're going like, what is this lady talking about? And this is coming from a doctor that worked at the Cleveland Clinic. This is his belief. It has worked. He tells you case histories. The one surgeon was 44 years old, had a massive heart attack. They helped him change his diet. Fine today. All is good. Everything's clear. So number one, you may not eat anything with a mother of a face. No meat, poultry, or fish. You cannot eat dairy products as well. You must not consume oil of any kind, not one drop. And then generally you cannot eat nuts or avocados as well. All vegetables are accepted except avocados. And all beans, peas, and lentils of all varieties. All whole grain and products such as bread and pasta, as long as they do not contain added fats. And all fruits. So, I know this is very strict rules, but if you've had a loved one that's had a heart attack or is having issues, this is a book that you could be your guide. Again, I will show you the book, and you can use this as your go-to to help you make this adjustment. I know this is very limited on what you can eat, but like for example, I tend to be a snacker. I like to put grapes in the freezer. I get the red raspberries at Aldi's, the organic ones, of course, and I can snack on those. Like when I was preparing to do the show, I had the red raspberries out by my computer, and I was eating those as I was getting hungry as well. So an increasing number of doctors are aware that diet plays a critical role in our health. Unfortunately, healthy lifestyle is not a pillar of medical education. So each generation of medical students learn about a different set of pills and procedures, but receives almost no training in disease prevention. So you've got to be your CEO, and you need to do the research as well. So even if you do not suffer from heart disease, there are other chronic diseases such as strokes, diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. This nutritional lifestyle will restore and maintain your health. So I just wanted to give you the introduction to the material to say it is there, it is your choice. So we have the book here for the information, and then the heart disease cookbook goes with it, so you have that as well. So now on the other side, we have the people that really haven't had any heart problems. Maybe there's nobody in your family that have heart problems. My father died of heart disease. He had open heart surgery. My grandfather died of heart disease. My uncle died of heart disease. So yes, I'm very aware of heart disease, and I will share with you, I'm sorry, I have not given up my meat and my poultry, but I do tend to, if I am going to do a meat product, it usually is fish, and I don't eat it that often, and the chicken as well. I would rather eat, like especially in spring, summer, and fall, is the greens, the lives, like a taco salad without the meat, and with the lettuce all the time, things of that sort. So, but my husband's type O. He does very well with red meat, so he likes the meat. I don't, so we kind of do a trade-off. And of course, it's wintertime. You know, here we are with the vegetable soup, which we've talked about that. So, you know, try to do as many live foods as you can right at this time. So now what I'd like to do is the 7 keys to preventing heart disease. I don't expect all of you to go and get the book and follow through on what the doctor has said. But what I will do, on the other hand, I'll give you the choices on what you can do to help prevent the heart disease. So if you show signs of needing help with your heart and circulation, take action now. You can't wait until you have a heart attack or stroke. Now is the time to take preventive measures. So number 1, the key one, okay, is to increase your intake of antioxidant. Okay, so we're going to talk about oxidative stress, also known as free radical damage. What this is, the free radical damage is, it's the chemical changes that takes place in the cell. So when this happens, this is what allows cholesterol and minerals to stick to the arteries, forming artery plaque. And that's what we talked right about here. The plaque is building up. And when people call me, I just had a lady call me, hey, I need my regular pickup for my cholesterol. Red yeast rice. That's what we have her on, and that's in a lot of formulas for high cholesterol as well. So you can just get the red yeast rice, and then I like to add niacin to it as well. And the good thing is, a long time ago, probably in the last 10 years, a lot of doctors had suggested some niacin as well. I like to put those two together. I personally take the niacin every day. So anyway, the plaque is actually formed as a protective issue to strengthen the artery walls damaged by inflammation. If it is allowed to continue to form, it reduces the blood flow to the heart, the brain, and other tissues, which increase the risk of heart disease and blockage as well. So the antioxidant nutrients present on brightly colored, like fresh fruits and vegetables, help prevent this process. Eating several cups of fruits and vegetables each day is the best place to start. So like I said, if you like the grapes, and if you want something like them cold, put them in the freezer. You know, and that makes them last longer as well. And if you like the red raspberries and the blueberries, you can freeze those, and that's what I usually do, is freeze them as well. And I'll put them in the yogurt, and they're very good. That's what I do for breakfast. And say, for example, if you have varicose veins, spider veins, or other signs of cardiovascular problems, try eating 1 cup of berries each day, and that should help with that, okay? So we have all the berries. You have your blueberries, your blackberries, and your red raspberries. This will reduce the cardiovascular inflammation, protect your cholesterol from oxidizing, and improve your venous tone, and help heal varicose veins, spider veins, and inflamed lungs as well. When it comes to protecting your heart from the free radical damage, one of the best antioxidants, so let's see if we brought that, we did, is CoQ10. Honestly, being a doctor and naturopath, my philosophy is pretty much anybody over the age of 50 needs to consider the CoQ10. And it can also help your gums if they're bleeding as well. It can firm that up as well, help with the inflammation. And how many do you take a day is what you're going to say. I personally take 2 to 3 a day, but I'm a little more aggressive. If you only want to take 1, that's fine. But I would definitely consider taking this. It helps reduce high blood pressure. It helps recover from heart attacks and improves the energy production in the heart muscle. So what you have to understand, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of your cell. In CoQ10, whenever I do the saliva and urine test, it tells us how the mitochondria is working. And we get them started on CoQ10. We usually can bring that mitochondria that was in the basement, bring it back up on the scale in the top 90% where we would like it. So this is very, very important. And as we are aging, the CoQ is declining in our body as well. So it should be also considered for people that are using statin drugs to lower cholesterol to take the CoQ10, because being on the cholesterol medication prescription, it's going to present a low amount of CoQ10. So that is also a little note that you need to remember as well. So we talked about the CoQ10, eating live fruits and vegetables, and to make it easy and quick, we can do the fruits and put them in the freezer and then in the refrigerator, whatever, and have them for breakfast. Put them on your oatmeal. That's one thing I will say that I love the book, but one thing I disagreed with. He endorses the microwave, which I don't, and he doesn't say a whole lot about organic food at all. So those are the two things I would add to this book, is that we do not use the microwave and we do organic fruits and vegetables. So just to keep that in your memory bank when you're reading the book as well. Okay, so we have the antioxidants. We need those, number one. And number two is we need an oil change. The fats that are damaging to the cardiovascular system are the processed vegetable oils and fats from animals raised in artificial conditions. The fats you should avoid include all hydrogenated vegetable oils, like margarine. No way. I do organic butter, okay? And you can get that at Aldi's as well. I'm just saying, because if you go somewhere else, it could be $8, $9 for 4 sticks. And I think I pay like $5 or something like that. And then no shortening, no deep fried foods. I mean, I don't eat deep fried. We always do, we usually broil if we're going to do something, or I may bake something. And then we do not want animal fats from commercially raised animals in the fats and processed foods. Do not be afraid of including a small amount of good fats in your diet, in my opinion. And if you're going to use good fats, you want to get organic coconut oil. And they have that at Aldi's too. I like to give you ideas on where you can go to save yourself a little bit of money, because with the economy right now, things are very tight. And always, like I said, organic butter, always organic milk. And it also helps to take fat-soluble vitamins, which is vitamin D3 and our vitamin E. I personally like vitamin E because that's going to thin the blood a little bit with your omega-3s, which I take those as well. So, we just got to go in and try to protect ourselves. I had one client came in and they were taking 3 vitamin E's a day. I'm like, I don't think that would be a really good idea, because that could be thinning your blood too much. So 1/400 unit is fine of vitamin E a day. But one thing you have to remember, I always tell clients this over and over and over, because 9 times out of 10, they're doing this. When you are on medication, you're taking your supplements with your medication. No. We can't do that. So what if you're on blood pressure medicine, first thing when you get up in the morning and going about your daily activities, there's a diuretic in many of those blood pressure meds. So why would you take your supplements with that? It's just urinating it right out, pulling it right out. It's a diuretic. So never take them together, always an hour apart. So just remember the D3, the vitamin E, and K2, all of these are fat soluble, and they go in and reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease. So number 3 is we need to regulate your blood sugar. So eating refined carbohydrates is far worse for your heart than eating fats. This is because sugar, white flour, and other empty calorie carbohydrates spike the insulin levels and increase the inflammation in the arteries, and we don't like that. So if your fasting glucose or hemoglobin A1C is high, you can improve your overall health by avoiding all the carbohydrates, including refined sugar, high fruit corn syrup, no corn syrup. It's a GMO. And try to avoid the white flour. I don't use that. And the white rice. If you're going to do rice, do brown rice. I agree with the doctor last week about that. And it may be helpful, like whenever clients come in, I have 2 coming in next week, new clients, I have them bring a copy of their blood work along as well. Because if I see their glucose is elevated, we'll get them on some chromium because they're pre-diabetic. So chromium is a mineral that supports the pancreas. And then also we can muscle test to see if we need to add a little bit of cinnamon to that as well. There's a product called Cinnamon Balance, and you can put those 2 together to help balance that out as well. So number 3 is to regulate our blood sugar, and number 4 is get active. We need to exercise. It increases the blood flow to the heart and strengthens the heart, so it pumps more blood, and with less effort. And it also helps control weight and reduces the fat. And exercise can also reduce your chances of developing other conditions that may put strain on your heart, such as high blood pressure and diabetes. So if you don't feel like you have energy to exercise, it's very important to work on increasing your heart energy. So how we can do that to increase heart energy is taking CoQ10, magnesium, and nitrate oxide. I swear by the nitrate oxide, and we're running out of time. We've got like 8 minutes, so we're going to talk about that in a second. But the nitrate oxide can increase the energy production in the heart and make exercising easier. And I personally do 2 scoops of this first thing in the morning. But we'll go back to that in just a minute. So we're going to go in and go to number 5. Number 5, manage your anger and your stress. The heart is strongly associated with your emotions, and your emotional state plays a large role in your heart health. Research suggests that people with aggressive, angry personalities and workaholics are more prone to heart disease. People who are more easygoing and laid back have a lower risk of heart disease. And I'm a type A personality, go, go, go. So that's why I like to go walk, take a little bit of relaxing time for you to help balance it out. So also, if you have tense with anger, you'll have the flower essence, and you can take some drops of this, and this will go in and help soften your heart up as well. And that's a flower essence, and it contains snapdragon, impatiens, and vine. So those are plants. And then excess stress raises the blood pressure and heart rate, which are factors also for heart disease. And so we need to relax and enjoy life. If you have a lot of stress, pamper yourself. Maybe go get a massage, take a walk in nature, take an Epsom salts bath, or take a vacation. Work what works with you, your time, and your budget. There are supplements you can take to help you with the stress. There's ashwagandha, which is an Ayurvedic herb that's getting your body back into balance. There is ginseng, can reduce the stress and produce a cardiac function as well. And astragalus is also very good. So number 6 is improve your blood flow. And so high blood pressure puts stress on the arteries and encourages the formation of plaque. So whenever we have the plaque, it narrows the artery, forcing an increase in the blood pressure, which is not good. So a new discovery that arteries are dilated for a tiny molecule called nitrate oxide. Increasing nitrate oxide helps dilate the arteries, improving the blood flow, and reduces cardiovascular inflammation at the same time, which reduces the plaque formation. This is my favorite supplement to benefit and improve my health and circulations. So that's the 7th one, and then we're going to go back to this, to diet and lifestyle changes. There are supplements which you can go in and support your heart. And number 1 is hawthorn. Hawthorn is to strengthen the heart. It helps improve the blood flow, and it also can reduce blood pressure. I've had clients that are on it, and it reduces the blood pressure as well. So what you do as an iridologist, one thing Dr. Chenson had taught me, when I do the iridology, we always look in the left eye at 3 o'clock. First place I look, that's where the heart is located in the colored part of your iris. If I see a dark area there, I know we might have some issues with the heart. I'm just saying this is how I can see what's going on by doing the iridology. But when we do the saliva and urine test, it's going to tell us how your circulation is. You know, it's going to either be in the red zone, moderate zone, or like normal. Mine's usually green, but I work very hard on that. So some other supplements to take besides the hawthorn, we have CoQ10, we have the omega-3s as well. The omega-3s are essential fatty acids to reduce inflammations. And so I like to take this. And another benefit of the omega-3s, it goes in and prevents dementia during the aging process as well. And I take like 2 or 3 of those a day. And also magnesium is very good to go in and prevent spasms. About 3/4 of the population is deficient in magnesium. It's a very critical mineral for heart health, and it helps the heart and blood vessels to relax. So let's go back to the nitrate oxide. So what we do, I'll have her bring up I'll bring up the photo of the results whenever we do the exam. So what you do, I have the, when I was out in Las Vegas in August, taking my doctor and naturopath exam, they have a trade show for doctor and naturopath. There are medical doctors and naturopaths speaking for the whole 3 or 4 days. And of course, you know, everyone has different things, from a hypobaric chamber to Chinese herbs to like this one is called Smart Pulse, and the Smart Pulse is going to go in and tell us how your heart is functioning. So let's go in, and what I do is I have it connected to my phone, and it's going to go in and give us a printout. And what it's going to do is it measures the large artery, the peripheral artery, and overall circulation. It grades your arteries from a 1 to a 7. Let's bring the picture back up, Joanna. So this is what we get. You get a copy of this whenever we do this, and it's going to tell you where your heart rate is, and it's going to tell you how your stress how stress is doing, and how your arterial health is as well. And so why I like it is because it is going to improve your blood flow, reduce your blood pressure, and it is also going to increase your deliver more oxygen to the cells as well. And it's going to go in and help relax your muscles, helps with the stress, and it can help with depression. And it's just really very, 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 I'm really glad that I invested in this. So I'm still in the learning phase, whatever, but you put your finger in here for a minute, and it's going to give us the printout. And then what we do with the nitrate oxide, this will last you probably close to a month. And there's a little scoop in there, and I do 2 scoops in the morning with like this much water, and you always take it on an empty stomach. And then you don't eat for an hour, so I set the timer. Everybody has our morning routine, so that's the first thing I do. Even before the dog goes out, we drink this, and off we go for the morning. So then I set the timer for an hour. Then I do my celery juice. Yes, this is a very tight budget, but I usually follow the celery juice at least 3 to 5 days a week, depending upon the morning schedule. If I have clients coming, I don't do that. It's too much. So the nitrate oxide is something that I've used it on several customers. They've seen a reduction in their blood pressure, and it can help somebody with energy as well. Erectile dysfunction, it helps with that as well, because we're improving the circulation, and that is very prime and very, very important. So hopefully this has given you some information on what we need to do. And also I have one more real quick thing. I always told you I was going to start giving you a recipe. So this is the one from the book by Prevent Heart Disease, from the cookbook. And what you do is get some organic strawberries, and there you have it written down. You get 12 large strawberries, 1 very ripe banana, 1 tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa, 2 teaspoons of chocolate balsamic vinegar, optional, and some mint leaves. So you cut the top off the strawberries, then slice it, tip off at the bottom so the strawberry can sit on its own. And then you clean out the center, and in a food processor, mix up the banana, the coconut, and the chocolate balsamic vinegar, and then there you go. And then you put that right in the middle of the strawberry. So I thought for February that would be a great little dessert for you to consider. So just remember, there are supplements you can take to support your heart. There's diet, which is absolutely critical, and it's entirely up to you, and you can change this internal environment if we have a lot of internal inflammation and plaque. So be well, listen to your heart, take one little baby step, stay on track, and believe you can do this. Be well and enjoy. Thank you.
are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.